I went on a date with this guy in this cute little cozy cafe with soft music playing in the background, candlelight. It was so magical. And then suddenly he started talking about his trip that he had returned from. He was casually describing all the mountains, the foods, the chaos of traveling, and everything. I smiled and nodded like I was fully present in that conversation, but only I know what was actually going inside my head. I had a lot of things, numbers of questions in my head. Should I ask where he went? Should I comment on his stand? Should I share my own trip story? Or should I just make a joke about it? Before I could choose, my inner critic shut all of them down. Well, that sounded basic, that sounded awkward, that sounded you should try hard. Right in that moment, instead of replying naturally, I just froze for a second. And that second told me everything about myself. I did not run out of things to say. I just had too many thoughts in my mind. With this, let me tell you something. Have you watched Elon Musk videos where he's going for the podcast or he's just giving the interviews or answering to the questions? Well, he fumbles a lot, like literally a lot. You know why? It's not because he doesn't know how to answer or he doesn't know what to say. It's because he has a lot of things in his head and he has a lot of things to say. Well, I'm not Elon Musk, but at least I can learn how to speak, right? After coming back home from that date and thinking about it, I realized one thing, that it's more often about how we are not able to speak things even though we know what to say. It's not about we are not able to say, it's about we have too much to say, right? So today in this video, I will be sharing about things that we can actually do to keep the conversation going. I read some book in which it was mentioned that you should always follow the 3-second rule. In this, what you have to do is you actually have to think and answer the question just within the 3 seconds. Because after 3 seconds, your overthinking takes over your mind. I always give my mind 3 seconds to just reply to that question or whatever that is coming to my mind, to just say it instead of overthinking it and letting my inner critic to interfere with it. It felt scary at first, but actually it eventually worked out for me. So next time when someone came up to me and mentioned hiking, instead of analyzing the every response, I simply said I would be needing thousands of water breaks to reach top. They laughed. The tension disappeared immediately, and suddenly the conversation felt easier. This is when I understood that important conversations doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real. Another thing that I noticed was that people who are genuinely good at conversation, they don't really try hard to impress the other person. They just be real and they just answer whatever that is coming to their mind. They're not in the pressure of performing something. They don't have the performance anxiety in them. They are genuinely curious in the other person. So now when I talk, instead of focusing on how am I sounding or if they're liking me or not, I genuinely tell them what I feel and I just listen to them and I just be curious. I focus on understanding the other person. I ask them what excites them at their work, how they end up in this situation, or what they are doing in their current life, how they got into this hobby. These are the questions that actually make the conversations engaging. And when I do these things, when I'm genuinely interested, when I focus on understanding the other people, the fear of performing eventually vanishes. Another thing that you could do to keep the conversation moving is just focus on one thing. Let's take an example. If someone is telling you about their trip they had returned from, and they have a lot of things to tell, so just stick to that. Don't start your own topic. Don't just throw your own experience of trips or whatever that is going in your mind. Just don't do that. Just listen to them, what they are telling, and ask them the follow up questions regarding that. Ask them which place stood out the most in their trip, what they enjoyed the most, what was their favorite food during the trip. Ask these kind of questions. Do not interfere with your own thoughts. These follow up questions naturally start the conversation without me needing to scramble for new ideas. Next time, when someone casually mentions about their travel during the bad weather, you could always take this conversation in different directions. For example, you could ask about the mishaps or how they came out of the situation, how many people were there. There are different ways. And when you see that one conversation is going slow, you could easily pick up the another one. This helped me to keep the conversation alive and continue it without having the horrible feeling of what should I say next. I also realized that I used to make the conversations very difficult. I used to make the conversations very serious. Very often I did that. So to get rid of it, what I used to do, then I started making the small jokes in between. I tried to balance the things out. For example, if we start venting about our work to someone we just met, it's not gonna work. Instead of that, I just used to stick to the surface. I just used to talk about the things that are going in my life, things that I like, or what they did during the weekend, or something like that. The back and forth makes everything feel more natural and enjoyable. Well, even after doing all these things, my brain still used to go blank. Well, we are humans, and that's completely fine. We are meant to have the blank spaces in our head. What you have to do is you don't have to panic in that moment. What you can do is just talk about the music that is playing, the vibe, the ambience of the place, Or maybe you could just circle back to the questions, or maybe you could just circle back to the things they were talking. It's as simple as that. These are the simple moves that can actually save you. Also, I keep a few universal questions ready in my head just in case, like asking them what has been keeping them busy lately, what are they watching these days, how was their last trip, or maybe something about their family if they're close to me. This way, I'm always prepared to have the conversation, and this keeps my mind on ease because I don't have to think much about it. I'm not under pressure that I have to ask follow-up questions. It's just I'm prepared for the conversation and I have something ready as my backup. And the last thing that I do is I just try to leave my bits with the person here and there. Not something very personal, but something inner so that the other person can open up with me. When you go from facts to opinions to feelings, the conversation naturally gets warmer. To be honest, I was never bad at talking. I was always too hard on myself. I was not letting myself speak. I was always over analyzing, overstimulating my brain with a lot of thoughts, which actually ruined the conversations. But I am here to help you out so that you cannot repeat the mistakes that I did. Once I stopped editing every thought, every curious question that I had in my mind, conversations became much easier. It got less scarier and I started having fun in the conversations. I hope these small things will help you out with your conversation game and will help you to keep the conversation going. So until then, keep learning, keep hustling. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Until then, bye.